What's going on, everybody? This is John Russo of the Behind the Barricade Podcast, and I'm with
Daniel Tao.
And we have a very special guest from the band Reverse Order, all the way from Hackettstown, New Jersey, which isn't that far from here, right, Dan?
Hackettstown, 45 minutes.
Okay, it's pretty far from here.
That's not far.
That's far enough, all right? We have John Russo, lead singer of Reverse Order. What's going on, John?
Aloha, everybody. How are you?
Doing all right, man. What's going on?
Just in for the night from a couple shows earlier today.
A couple of shows earlier.
Yes.
Where'd you play?
We were down in South Jersey, so a couple hours from where I am right now in Pompton Plains.
Nice. Where in South Jersey?
Camden area.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So as South Jersey as it gets.
Wow. Were you playing a show down there, or was it something else?
We, aside from the regular concerts that we do, we also run a nonprofit program in schools. So
Nice.
we were doing some performances through that.
And that's Reverse the Trend, right?
Yes, you have done your homework.
Well, as much as I can.
He loves school.
Yes, I'm a real bookworm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's the term. I don't even know. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about Reverse the Trend. It's a highly sought out after anti-bullying program brought to
That
over
is
300
correct.
schools nationwide. So how'd that all come about?
It came about after we were on America's Got Talent. We had started just performing in some high schools as a way to give back and a way to just break into new areas. And while we were there doing those performances, we had a lot of students come up to us who were struggling with different things in their lives, bullying, personal struggles like anxiety and depression. So we had created this program at first just to bring it around to a couple areas. We did a few shows in New York, a few shows in Pennsylvania, and about a year and a half ago, a company approached us and said, "Hey, do you want to do this in, over 200 schools this year?" And we said yes, and we've probably performed in almost 400 schools at this point with the program.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's rewarding. We get to play our music for people and also help them by reaching out and being someone that they can talk to and listen to and hopefully be inspired by.
Yeah, I mean, bullying's gotten a lot worse than the days that I was in high school, Dan was in high school.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have any bullying in my high school. I was lucky.
Well, I mean, I've seen bullying happen, especially in the male locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess more of like the Facebook bullying,
Yeah, that's
for me
worse.
it was,
Yeah.
I don't remember what that website was, but there was a Facebook website where it was just completely anonymous. So you could just post like the most heinous, like horrible stuff and no one would know your name. You remember that? It was some kind of
No.
like attached like website to Facebook.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The name doesn't come to my mind, but I know a couple of people that would use it to be like pick out certain individuals and just be like, say horrible stuff because they knew it wouldn't get back to them because they couldn't see who they were.
Yep.
What, that was the thing?
Yeah.
That's
Holy
the
shit.
thing, sadly.
It's crazy because, from 8:45 to 3 o'clock or whatever time kids go to school, it could be nonstop hell for them. And to think that they can't even go home to get like I hate to use the term safe space, but a space where they're not bullying whatsoever. And next thing you know, they go on their Facebook and they get a whole bunch of hate shit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But you would just see all these posts about like, oh, he's my boyfriend, just like back and forth. It's horrible. It was just like white trash stuff you would see on there. But
Yeah. Definitely reality TV worthy.
Oh my God. I'm very curious about that website now, but let's keep it going. You, also, you mentioned America's Got Talent, and holy shit, that's one hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Especially being down to the quarterfinals.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
was that whole experience like?
That-
Because it
that
seems like
was-
one hell of a ride.
It was a great experience for us. We got to work with some of the best music directors out there. We got to perform live on TV in front of this huge audience. So it was definitely a really different experience than anything we've had before. And it's a lot more work than people think. You're there for 8 days before your show, working every day with music directors. They're arranging the songs and telling you where you have to move for the cameras, and everything is so scheduled and so much work going into that 1 minute and 30 seconds on stage. A lot of people don't realize that, but it was definitely a lot of fun for us. We had a great time on the show, and it really moved into bigger and better things for us.
It is quite amazing just to hear someone from basically our local scene being on a program like America's Got Talent. What song did you end up doing for the producers?
We did Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl, and a very rock and roll version of it at that. There's a nice guitar solo in there. There was fire shooting down from the ceiling at the end of the performance. It was pretty cool. We felt a little bit like Kiss.
So now it was reverse order that did that, or just
Yes.
you? It was all right. So it was
Yes.
a band. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think our bands would be received very well on that show.
No, we're both in hard rock and metal bands. So
Hey, I've seen some hard rock and metal bands on those shows before, so you never know.
Yeah,
it's the exposure.
Yeah, like those chicks that get up there and you're like, oh, she looks really pretty. She's gonna sing like very very well, and then she starts belting out screams, and they're like, what the hell is this?
I think there was like a 7-year-old girl who did that one season.
yeah, her and her sister was on drums or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It was pretty funny. Like the growls on her was just unbelievable.
Yeah, almost better than you, John.
Fuck off. But anyways, John, you are here.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
yes,
here.
obviously you are here. But you are here promoting your homecoming show, April 15th at the Old Mogul Theater in Montclair, New Jersey, with Small Victories, The Weekenders, and the band we had on last week, Bad Case of Big Mouth. For advanced
Yes,
tickets, $10. You can head over to www.reverseorderonline.com/tickets.
Yes, that is all the correct information. We're super excited for this show. We haven't been in New Jersey for a while. The last time we headlined was last June, and then we spent the whole summer working on a new EP, and we've been on tour since September. And then we were back for like one day in February where we played with the Gym Blossoms, which was a ton of fun in Montclair. But this is our first headlining show since last year, so we're all very excited.
Oh, and that was at the Wellmont, right? With the Gym Blossoms? Nice.
Yes. It was a super cool venue. The band was incredibly nice. They invited us backstage for pizza and drinks after the show, and we had a ton of fun just performing, meeting new fans, hanging out with fans that have been fans for a while, and hanging out with the Gym Blossoms.
Yeah, just as cool as that picture I saw with you and Mark McGrath.
Yes,
That's awesome.
that was another cool experience. I just sent him a tweet, and I asked him if he'd sign a guitar for our nonprofit to auction off, and he said yes and put us on the guest list to go backstage for that show.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Super
Can you add
nice
me and
guy.
John?
I love those Under the Sun shows. You know, I think that show was what? Sugar Ray, Smash Mouth, maybe the Gym Blossoms are on there, Fastball, Vertical Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, really love those 90s.
Good old bands.
Yeah.
A lot of one-hit wonders. Wow. Like, they're not really one-hit wonders, but I only know one song from most of those bands, except for Gym Blossoms. They're pretty good.
Well,
Not that
Sugar
the
Ray
other
had
bands
plenty of
aren't.
hits.
No,
They're
I
those-
know Sugar Ray's the different one out of
Yeah,
those.
they're those bands you think you know one song by, and then you put on a
Fastball.
CD, and you're like, "Oh, I know every single song."
Exactly. The Gym Blossoms was me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know that song. Oh, I know that song too. And it's probably because my dad had the CD, so I probably heard it from him. But still,
Hey, nothing wrong with them.
no,
Love the Gym
No,
Blossoms.
they're pretty good.
Yeah, especially when they throw out tambourines in the audience, and it feels like you're a part of the band.
Yeah,
Gets you all
definitely.
warm and fuzzy inside, John.
Oh, you know it, Daniel. Oh, you know it. So, anyways, you also have a few more upcoming tour dates. April 19th at the Muse Expo Showcase in beautiful Los Angeles, California.
Yes,
April
sir.
23rd, the Launch Music Conference and Festival in Lancaster, PA. May 20th, Wilbert's in Cleveland. May 27th, the Hoosier Dome. Is that a venue or is that the actual basketball venue?
That is a venue.
Oh, that's a venue. Okay.
Yes.
I was about to say you're doing arenas now. Holy shit.
That would be great if
You made it.
You know, we showed up and it was a packed arena.
Well, maybe if you won America's Got Talent, you might have been doing arenas.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yes, absolutely. And closing it out, May 29th, Cicero's in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, it's one of our favorite places to play in the country. So we're
Cicero's?
excited. Cicero's in St. Louis. We have a couple spots throughout the U.S. You know, obviously New Jersey, that's our home.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania has always been a second home to us, and pretty much all those venues out into the Midwest, Cicero's has put us up for shows there for years. So we love those guys.
Oh, wow. And what's the capacity of that venue? Just curious.
That's a good question. I think it's like 150.
Okay, so it's like a small bar, small club type of deal.
Yep, and all the bands get pizza, so it's a great place to play.
Wow, fair deal.
Yeah, that pizza's worth more than they usually give us at shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you've played a few pay-to-play venues, right, John?
Oh, yeah. Pay to plays, shows to nobody. It's nice when you have people to play for.
It always is, especially when you could open for a good headliner and people actually come in from that. Instead of just your fans going to see, some random headliner.
Those are definitely the best ones.
So, anyways, you're from the New Jersey scene. What venues did you grow up going to and also playing at? And just maybe like a little backstory of how you got into the music scene.
Our very first show was Cruising myself. He's my brother. Mm-hmm. He's the drummer. And it was just a talent show. And then a battle of the bands with one of our friends. And as we kind of progressed into music and started taking it more seriously, we started playing big shows fairly quickly. I mean, years and years ago, we did the break contest for Bamboozle, like most New Jersey bands have. And we got to play Bamboozle, which was a ton of fun. The Stone Pony. We got to play Starland Ballroom a couple times. And New Jersey, our main venue we used to do all our shows at was the Architect in Butler, New Jersey. But
I live right up the street from that.
Right up the street from that.
They're taking a break from shows now. They do that every now and then because they also do the studio stuff and the lessons. So they're not doing shows right now. And then someone had recommended Old Mogul, and we checked it out, thought it was a super cool venue, and got in touch with the promoters and hooked up the show there.
It's great to see bands still play in New Jersey, bands that I don't want to say made it, but you guys have been pretty successful. Like, I mean, you guys, and in the same genre, I don't know if you ever heard of Action Item.
We performed with them at Starland. That was the band.
Okay. I went to high school with their drummer, Dan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so no, not you, Dan. Even though Dan is a drummer.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, those guys came out of nowhere. No label support, just like you guys. Are you guys under like a management, or do you do everything yourselves?
We are completely independent at this point in time. If anybody's interested who's listening, we're always looking at different options of people we can work with. But for now, we are independent, and we've done pretty much everything ourselves.
Hear that, Warner Brothers? They're available. Let's go.
Let's hope.
You never know.
Hey, yeah, someone's got to get signed at some point.
That's true.
Bands aren't just, well, some bands are born out of labels, but bands do get signed.
Yeah, not everyone could be Dispatch, playing selling out Madison Square Garden without any label support, which is mind-blowing to say the least.
I give bands like that a lot of credit. I give every band a lot of credit. If you're in this music industry, it's a lot of tough work. People don't realize that.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's more than just getting on stage, performing in front of like two people, and then getting off of it. I mean, there's you have to promote the show. You have to write the songs, of course. What the hell are you going to stand there and do on stage?
Write the songs, record the songs, practice the songs, perform the songs, message all your friends to get them out to shows, try to get yourself out of the state, bug them. Yeah.
There's a lot to do. And a lot of people ask, oh my God, I was thinking about joining a band. And I'm like, look, if you're not going to be 100% serious about it, don't do it.
Oh, yeah. I give people, hey, music's great, but you got to be ready for this, and this. And, it is a lot more than people think. I remember kids in high school saying, oh, John's going to have it easy in life. He's just going to perform in his band, make a ton of money. I'm like, it's a lot of work. It's not just a free ride.
Yeah, not every band makes a ton of money, too.
Yeah, you have to enjoy it. You have to love what you do, because any form of art is you're doing it for the love of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy that you just do so much work off for like a 20 to 25 minute set.
Yeah, and I do it all over again.
Yeah, especially being on tour. And then you have to add in driving. You have to add in like gas money, food. How are you going to eat? How are you going to do laundry? How are you going to shower? Like,
our
there's a
longest drive was 22 hours.
Oh my God.
We went straight from the top of Connecticut down to Orlando, Florida.
Holy crap.
We did take a couple days off and go to Disney.
Nice.
Oh, you had to. Whose routing decision was that? They need to be fired.
We were on one tour, or our tour was starting in Florida, and we were planning on heading down there, and we had plenty of time to do it. But last minute, we had gotten a show opportunity up in Connecticut, and we took it. So we always take any show that we can easily make, and we decided to just drive overnight with a couple friends down to Florida.
Wow. 22 hours later.
Yeah.
What was that
Sleeping on
car
that
ride
floor.
like?
We took a seat out of the van because at that time we were traveling in a minivan with a trailer.
Okay.
So we had two people up front. One person got the bench seat in the back, and then we took out the middle seat so someone could sleep on the floor, which was the best spot because you got the heat from the friction of the roadway, and it warmed your back while you slept.
Wow.
It's the
all right.
little things.
Okay, so you're also promoting your new EP, Nothing to Hide, available now.
Yes, sir.
And you worked with Matt Squire.
Yeah, and that was an incredible experience. And actually, I met him much like Mark McGrath through Twitter. I tried finding his contact online because we were searching for producers to work with him. We'd always really admired Matt Squire's work, and all I could find was management contacts. And I was like, you know what? Let me just shoot him a tweet, see what happens. The next thing you know, 2 days later, I was sitting in his studio with him talking right before he had a lunch appointment with Benji Madden from Good Charlotte. So it was just a whole surreal experience. And we had talked for a while about what we wanted to do with the songs. We had, looked at some demos, and a couple months later we were in the studio recording with them, and we're very happy with the songs we chose. The original plan was to do 2 songs that we had demos for and then write a song together from scratch, which, was an awesome idea because he's such an incredible writer. And when we were going through the demos, we had picked the first 2 songs, which were Call My Name and Let You Go. And then before we decided to write a song, he looked at some of the demos that were unfinished, and he found Erase You, which at the time was just nicknamed Electronic Song Demo or something like that. And he really liked the music, and he said, this is the 3rd song we're doing. We're not writing one from scratch. Go home and write lyrics to it so we can record it tomorrow. And in my head, I was like, oh, great. I've been trying to write lyrics to this song for over a year. How is that going to happen? And he sent me some voice memos that were just like him humming different parts of the song, shot me a text with them, and somehow the next day, that next morning, I pulled together some lyrics before getting in the studio, and everybody loved them, and we just recorded the songs. It was Matt Squire was in the studio with us, but also Steve Tipiconic, who works with Matt as well. He's another producer. He's up and coming. He's a great guy, and we had a lot of fun working together. The songs came out. Rob Freeman, who's over in Boonton, guitar player for Hidden in Plain View, he mixed the songs and mastered them with Chris Athens, so we're very happy with the product.
Wow. And this is a 5-song demo, was it?
It's only 3 songs.
Oh, 3 songs.
We chose to do 3 songs. We put the best songs forward, and we're seeing how those click with people, and so far we're getting a positive response on all of them, and we're just really excited to be able to bring something new to our fans, something that's a little different than what we've done in the past, and just a whole new reverse order for them.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. And it's on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere else?
Yeah, Spotify. We got it up on YouTube. We got some lyric videos up right now. So anywhere you listen to music, it's 99.9% chance there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So after doing some research, you guys played in Russia?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was an incredible touring experience, and like you were saying before about the pay-to-plays, Russia is the complete opposite of that, which coming from the U.S. was totally different for us. People genuinely love new music, and they love going out to see bands they've never seen before. Every venue we went to was packed with people who've never seen us before, obviously, because we've never been to Russia before, but people who just heard about us like a couple weeks prior, and we made all these new friends, all these new fans, all the different people in the town showed us to like the really cool places that just being a tourist you wouldn't see, like the military surplus stores underneath the buildings and all these different outside museums that you would have never heard of in the outskirts of the cities. And it was just a really incredible experience for us, and we're so happy we got to do it, and hopefully we'll be back soon. We're all looking forward to that.
Yeah. How did that whole thing come about?
We actually entered a contest online, and we won it, and at first the people who were originally funding it dropped out, so it was a little up in the air for a while if it was actually going to happen, but then the U.S. Embassy and Russian Embassy stepped in, and they funded us to go over there. So we were actually cultural diplomats bringing American music to Russia.
Nice.
And
you also got to see the city underneath the city, as you just said, the military surplus store. And what other cool things did you see in Russia?
There was an outdoor museum, which was like an old town that they had set up or preserved, which was really cool. And all the food that we got to eat was so phenomenal. We got to see your basic stuff that, touristy stuff like St. Basil's Cathedral, the Kremlin Wall. But most of our touring was really outside the major cities. We performed close to the Arctic Circle. We performed in a lot of towns that had the universities. So we got to meet a very diverse group of people, which was probably the best part about it. And then all the different cultural things. They have a lot of churches that are beautiful. They're hundreds of years old that they toured us through. And there's just a lot of history there that you wouldn't know just by going on your own and booking a trip to Moscow. I'd say if anyone goes to Russia, skip Moscow and go to everywhere else. That's where the real culture and cool stuff is.
Yeah, it's like saying when you go to New York City, avoid Times Square because you're not really seeing the city.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's kind of like what Moscow was. Obviously there's cool stuff there like St. Basil's Cathedral and the Kremlin Wall, but it's really just New York in another country. It's a major city. It's major businesses and regular people doing their everyday life.
Yeah. And to think that people are actually coming out just because it's new music from a different area. I mean, I wish that more people around here would say, oh, wow, this band's coming from England, Ireland, even Russia coming down over here.
Or even, hey, this band's coming from the next town over.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go see him.
Look, when your friends are just like, I saw you guys already last month. I don't want to do it again. Also, $20, and, they could go to the bar and spend $100 and feel satisfied with that instead of helping out your friends, trying to push their dreams forward. It's I don't want to say it's selfish, but it's strange.
Yeah, but, you got to do what you got to do. And luckily we've had, a great group of supporters in reverse order. We've had great fans, great friends and family who've always been at the show. So we're extremely appreciative and thankful for all those people who continue to come out and see us.
Yeah, it seems like you do have one hell of a dedicated fan base.
Yes, sir, and they're pretty awesome.
So I see you guys got over 20,000 likes on Facebook, and on Twitter you have over 80,000. It's kind of like a theme with us. What would you say is the reason for that exposure and those likes on social media? Would it be that you went with the show?
The show definitely helped America's Got Talent.
There we go. America's Got Talent.
When we were on, we were like a trending hashtag while we were on the show, which was cool. And we were very interactive with our fans, very content-based. We like to make sure, we post a lot of touring videos on YouTube and a lot of different content on Facebook that enables users to get involved and share it and retweet it. And when people are having fun doing things, other people want to join in, and then they find us through all these sites. And it's really cool, just even thinking back to a couple years ago when we just started the Facebook page and we only had, our friends liked it, and now we have so many people who pay attention to what we do. It's definitely something that is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for a local band to have 23,000 likes, it's definitely not
it's
common
not an everyday
at all.
thing.
No.
Yeah,
we work hard, and I'm not afraid to say that just because, myself, the other guys in the band, we're up from 6 a.m. We're doing the nonprofit stuff during the day, and we get home. Up until this podcast right now, I was doing work promoting the shows, and then once I'm done with this, I'm going to finish up some college work and then send out some emails for a showcase we have coming up in a couple weeks. So we keep at it all day long, every day.
So is that your primary job, or do you have a regular 9-to-5 that you have?
It's music. It's the nonprofit. It's the band. That's all we do now.
Wow,
Nice.
that is incredible that you got to that point.
That's definitely a good thing. I mean, for me, it's a 9-to-5 job. So doing a tour or doing those shows during the week, it's kind of difficult for me.
Yeah, I remember when we were at that point, and it was the decisions to quit your job. I do online classes now for college, so I don't go to a regular institution anymore, and all those decisions, were definitely something we had to think about. But for all of us, music was always the main goal in life, and it was what we wanted to do. So we saved up and put our whole lives into it.
What kind of jobs did you have? Did you work at like a McDonald's or?
I worked at a Dunkin' Donuts.
There we go. There's always one chain that everyone works at.
Yeah,
I worked at A&P.
There you go.
I worked at Dunkin' Donuts. I had to open the store at like 3 or 4 in the morning and get everything ready for the morning rush, which that was always a pain because we used to do a lot of bar shows back in the day, and we'd get done at 1 in the morning, drive up from the shore. It'll be like 2 o'clock, and then in 2 hours I got to open Dunkin' Donuts. But I worked there. I did a bunch of temp jobs. Cruz and Drew also worked for the same temp agency I did. So we worked on like factory lines. We worked at college bookstores. Drew worked at Urban Outfitters for a very long time. And Cruz worked at Quick Check for a while as well.
Quick Check. That's pretty solid.
So yeah, we got our chains in there.
Wow.
John, what was yours?
Dunkin' Donuts.
No,
No,
this
not
John.
This is going to be confusing as shit. Even though this is the first time in, I don't even know how many minutes, like 20 minutes, that we confused the two.
Yeah, that's surprising.
That's pretty good, Dan. That's pretty good.
John O'Connor.
Which
chain did you work at?
I worked at Yankee Candle, as you did know.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Also worked at Toys R Us. And I also had like a shit ton of weird jobs. Like I worked at a deli. I worked at a sewage plant. I currently work at a school now. And
Dean Hall Law, to be exact.
Yes, Dan, tell the entire world where I work.
It's in Newark.
Yes. You want to
Go
give the
find him,
address?
hunt him down.
If you hate the show, you know where to find me. What about you, Dan, besides A&P?
That was it. Literally just A&P and Lakeland Bank.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm loyal. No, not nice. Never say that.
Mine was always, if music called, I had to take off somehow, and if I couldn't work the rest of the job, I had to put the music first, so I was always finding new jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, I'm like that too. I mean, I know it's kind of, I guess, not normal, but, it is normal. But for a 9 to 5, that's the reason why I got my job, because, I have off weekends, a previous one, which working for the same company, I worked every day but Wednesday. So, I mean, not that it was difficult, just, on the weekend when you had to work and then you had a show. That's why I did it. Someone in my previous band, he would work till like 11 o'clock at night and would do, overtime on Saturdays. And for that, it's difficult for, someone that wants to kind of play every show that they can, having someone that, is working on the weekends or working maybe late at night during the week when you can have practice. It's difficult. So,
yeah,
even having a 9 to 5 job helps. Go figure.
Yeah, it does. Did you ever run into those situations with like maybe past band members that were just really didn't like, I don't want to say get along with, but there was always some kind of weird issue with that?
Our most recent past member, we're all good friends, but he did prioritize having a real job, which is totally fine. It's his decision, and he was more comfortable in that situation because the music industry there are absolutely no guarantees. And if you can work a real job and you're happy with it, then that's the thing for you. But for us, like I said, music is always the first thing up front. But I think every band has members that people realize after playing music for a while that maybe they have different priorities. Maybe they have different things they want to do. We just saw a friend's band of ours post, I think it might have even been yesterday, that they were breaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. So anyways, this is a music and touring podcast, and obviously you've done your fair share of shows. Does maybe like 1 or 2 stand out to you for a specific reason?
We have had some really amazing shows. I'd say the entirety of Russia would stand out to us just because that is a completely different cultural experience for us. And then inside the U.S., the most recent thing was opening for the Gin Blossoms, just being in front of that huge crowd at that theater and then performing alongside a band that was so welcoming. A lot of times you'll play with bands who, they get on the stage and they leave. But to actually meet someone like them who they didn't have to hang out with us, they didn't have to stay later, they're the Gin Blossoms. They're a big deal. And that they actually took the time to hang out with us and share their dressing room with us and food with us. That was just a very cool experience.
Yeah, there's something with the veteran bands where it's, I'd say maybe 80% of veteran bands love to get to know the openers, and then you have that 20% who think they're rock stars. And both Dan and I know of a few bands that think they're rock stars.
Luckily, we've had pretty good experience with bands. You know, we performed with Hawthorne Heights at one point, and they were super cool guys. They were the type of the band who hung out at their merch table, and we were right next to them. So, you know, they talked to us the whole night, and we've had a lot of good experiences with bands like that, thankfully.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's not like our band or anything, Daniel.
It was funny to me to see a member of a band that I listened to and that was popular at one point and had videos on MTV and all that. Seeing him just walk out of the venue and search for a member of your band to start an altercation, I thought it was it was crazy. I was like, is that really him walking out? Is that really him walking out here starting a fight? It's crazy. I don't know. I just wouldn't expect a bigger band or a popular musician to do that, but I guess someone at the tail end of their career or fame, I guess that would do it.
And you never know what's going on. That could have just been a bad day for him.
Exactly.
And that was the final thing that threw him off. Everybody has those moments. It's just, I guess, when you're in an entertainment industry, those things get a little more publicized and people think about them a little more than anyone else. And, everybody has those moments.
Exactly.
Live and let live. Is that the expression?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think you got that right, John.
Thank you, Dan, for that for that
reassurance.
Yes. I was going to go reaffirmation.
Wow, man.
I am terrible with words today. I am really off, and I do apologize, John. I am just off.
You're fine. It's late.
It is late. It's, what time is it? All right, it's 8:48 on the East Coast.
Yeah, we got to get to bed.
Yes.
9:00 curfew.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, Jesus. So, anyways, you said you performed with Hawthorne Heights. You performed with the Gin Blossoms. Any other big names you opened for?
We opened for Third Eye Blind. That was actually really cool because that was the very first show of our actual touring experience as a band. And we had gotten that through just submitting for it online, and Third Eye Blind picked us. It was in Connecticut, so that was a ton of fun. We've done shows at venues with Avril Lavigne. We performed with a lot of really, really great artists that we're very thankful to even have the opportunity to perform with.
I mean, whatever works, as long as you get your music out there to different fans or even the same fans, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and what we've realized is, while we may be performing with a band that doesn't fully fit in our genre, people now, there really isn't a genre. I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to the poppiest of pop to the most hardcore of the hardcore. I like all music, and it seems like now more fans are liking more types of music. We played a show with all screamo bands in California, and we had a blast, and the bands loved it, the fans loved it. We all went out to In-N-Out afterwards and grabbed burgers. So it's really cool that now you can play with a variety of bands, and people just love music.
In-N-Out.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of that conversation was In-N-Out Burger. I'm sorry.
That entire conversation, Dan?
No,
Jesus Christ, Dan.
I'm trying to make it funny. Come on.
The only thing he takes away.
Come on. He's played on Bamboozle, Warped Tour. He's been on tour in fucking Russia.
Come on.
And you pick out In-N-Out Burger. Jesus, Dan.
I need a cheeseburger, man. I'm like Randy. Randy Leahy.
Yes. Do you watch Trailer Park Boys at all? Yes.
Such a good show. I watched the whole 9 seasons in a couple weeks, and then I got back from California and I started rewatching them with my brother. Hopefully we'll get to season 10 soon. But that show is awesome.
I finished it and I was disappointed.
Yeah, season 10 was a little bit of a letdown. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I didn't watch it yet.
No spoilers, but
honestly, after season 9, I was expecting something a lot bigger than season 10 was.
Yeah, and actually the craziest part is you heard about what happened with Bubbles, right? In real life, Mike Smith.
Nope.
He ended up getting arrested, I believe, for quote unquote assault on some female that he was with. Even though the female did tell the cops saying, "Hey, listen, we're just in a heated altercation. He didn't put his hands on me." Did not matter. So anyways, Bubbles gets arrested in real life. His name is Mike Smith. And Lucy from the show decides to go, "Yeah, I quit because of that reason."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, hopefully there'll be some more seasons.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely going to be more seasons
Yeah.
as long as Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles are still on the show.
They never explain what happens to not Trevor, but the other guy. They say both of them go to the mental institution, then one of them returns.
Corey returns.
Corey returns.
I think they said Trevor. I could have sworn they said Trevor wanted to go back or stay or something.
Yeah, something like that. So I wonder why he's not on the show anymore.
He wanted more money, more or less. That's what I read.
Oh.
And I think the director, Mike Clattenburg, I want to say his name is, decided.
Man, you are good with your Trailer Park Boys facts.
I am.
I think he's good with a lot of facts for shows and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I did attend, I think, 784 different bands I've seen live.
Wow.
Yeah, ranging from Coldplay to Converge,
Nice.
going really hardcore, to like Suicide Silence, back to Katy Perry, to Drake, to Lil Wayne.
Oh God, kill me now, Drake.
Oh, what's wrong with
Hey,
Drake?
Drake is phenomenal.
Thank you. We have another Drizzy fan up in here.
Yeah, but I saw probably the weirdest concert I saw was like years ago. It was Kanye West and the Rolling Stones.
What?
Yeah, and that was like pretty early in Kanye's career. This had to be, let's see, at least 9 years ago.
Now remember, he is like the world's biggest rock star according to him. So
Yeah,
that would fit.
it was
Stones would-
definitely an interesting show.
Wow. And what was it, like a one-off show, like a radio sponsored show, or did Kanye just open for the Rolling Stones?
The Rolling Stones Bigger Bang Tour, and Kanye West was the opening act.
Wow.
Oh my God. I don't know if you ever seen Kanye recently, his Yeezus tour. Oh my God, the production on that, it's through the roof.
Wow. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, he just played at Prudential Center, I think, like maybe 2 years ago. It was literally on a mountain, like walking on a mountain. It starts snowing. He had, I think, like 20 naked girls like hold him up at one point. Like this was a real fucking production.
Wow.
Now, are we going to see something similar to a reverse order show?
Naked girls holding you guys up.
That'd be pretty badass.
Probably not like that, but hopefully someday in the future, lots of pyrotechnics.
Nice.
Everybody loves pyrotechnics.
Definitely.
I've seen Kiss like 3 times, and their stage show is incredible.
That's a band I still haven't seen live, and I'm kind of pissed now since there's only 2 original members.
Yeah, when I saw them, it was still 2 original members, but they all put on a great show.
I believe it. Now, do you agree with the fact that I believe it was Gene Simmons said that they're just going to franchise the name Kiss out, and you for a small fee can own a Kiss, meaning that you and 3 of your buddies can go out, put on the makeup, put on the whatever else that they put on, the costumes, and actually perform as Kiss for like a small fee.
That would make sense. I know one time, it might have been one of the times we saw them, they had mentioned that even once they're dead, Kiss is going to keep going. So I think part of the reason, there's 2 new members now, and they're going to eventually, when they're tired, they'll have 2 new members. So they're like slowly introducing a new Kiss. And so that when they retire, Kiss is still a band.
I mean, it does make sense, but to think that you
think
could
of them
get,
like a Broadway play. They're a show, and people are going to go see Kiss. They don't care, who's there. You could see Jersey Boys a million times to a million different cast members. It's still going to be a great show. Kiss is still going to be a great show no matter who's on stage.
That's true. So you're thinking maybe Tommy Thayer and who was the other one? Eric Singer?
Eric Singer. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to take over the Paul and Gene?
I think they'll keep with it once Paul and Gene leave, and then 2 new people come in, and I think it's just going to keep cycling through like that.
Yeah, which is crazy because a lot of old school bands don't have their original members anymore. Like right now, it's down to Aerosmith and the Rolling Stones, more or less.
Yeah. Rolling Stones is what? The band that has gone the longest without breaking up. They've never once quit.
Yeah, I don't think they
It's like
quit.
over 50 years or something like that.
Yeah, they just celebrated 50 years, I think, last year or the year before.
Yeah. Pretty crazy to think that a band has been around for that long. I'm always curious, like, if there's ever going to be a point in music where it's a complete shift. Like, at one point, everyone was totally down with classical music for hundreds of years, and then now rock and roll's introduced. How long is rock and roll and all this going to last before there's some, like, crazy new thing hundreds of years from now?
I don't know. What can happen in hundreds of years?
I have no idea, because rock and roll is the best thing that we're putting out. So,
Goddamn right.
Amen.
I don't know. It is weird to think, like, back in, I'd say, the late 90s, early 2000s, if you listened to country or if you were into, like, techno, you're a weirdo.
oh yeah,
And now it's like,
crazy popular. I mean, I guess it's changed a little bit. You know, country's pop music, and even, you know, techno is kind of pop music to an extent, but it's definitely different. You know, there were definitely like cliques with genres. You know, there's the boy band clique, and then there was like the grunge clique and the techno clique, like you said, and those didn't really intermingle. But now I think people intermingle more. You know, I've seen plenty of all-time low fans who love Nirvana, who love the Rolling Stones. So,
But is it love, or is it more like, oh my God, Jack Barricat's wearing a Nirvana shirt. I like Nirvana now.
I definitely see where you're coming from with that. I've met plenty of people who wear, you know, the Jimi Hendrix shirt, the Kurt Cobain shirt, and have never heard a song before. But then I've met people who I'll be talking in a conversation, and I'll name, you know, more obscure 90s bands or 80s bands that wouldn't have a T-shirt in Hot Topic, and they know it. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool that people are still paying attention to great music, even though it's 20, 30 years old.
Yeah, true. And it also helps with like upbringing from, you know, listening with your parents in the car, or maybe you have a cool older brother and going from there.
I mean, that's why we saw Kiss so much. My mom took us to see Kiss when I was 10 years old, and I saw Bruce Springsteen when I was like 4. So
that's badass.
Yeah, good parents brought us up on some good music.
Wow. And just for shits and giggles, what would be your number one band to open for? Would it be Kiss or?
Ooh, I'd say that has changed drastically throughout the years. Currently, it would probably be either The Killers or One Republic. I think both bands are phenomenal. The music's phenomenal. The people just seem like great people to hang out with. And they've definitely been huge influences on our music.
Yeah, one can definitely have a 3-hour conversation with Brandon Flowers.
Oh, yeah. Them, I mean, there's so many bands. Sum 41 was like one of the first bands that got me into writing songs, and they're so awesome live, and they've always been a huge inspiration. And I don't know, there's so many good bands.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that like you could listen to so much good music and not even scratch the surface.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm still finding bands that I think are great, and even bands that have been around for a while that I've just never really taken the time to listen to. We were in North Carolina, and we were staying with these people. We couch surf, and we use a site called Rifo, which houses bands, and these people housed us. We just met them, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to a Seosin concert tomorrow. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
badass.
I've never listened to them before, but I've heard a lot about them, and people say I love them, so sure." And that had an amazing time, and now I listen to Seosin on the drives, and so I love finding new music and music that's just new to me.
Yeah, and it's great that we have something like Warped Tour. One stage would have, like, let's say, All Time Low, while the next you have a Sublime tribute band.
And that's that leads me to something cool that happened recently, because you said Sublime with Rome.
Yeah.
There's a band, Dirty Heads.
Oh, I know the Dirty Heads, yeah.
Yeah, and when I was in California in October, well, actually, before that, when we were doing our songs with Matt Squire, he really liked the writing a lot, and I was talking to him about possibly going out and doing some more writing with him just as a writer. And we were touring through in October, and we were in line for The Price is Right, and as a band, and I got a text from Matt's manager that said, "Hey, what are you doing at 1 o'clock? Can you get here for a session with the Dirty Heads?" And I got right out of that line for The Price is Right, hopped in the car, drove there. So I got to write with the Dirty Heads, which was one of the coolest experiences, you know, being able to write for such a major artist like that. And out of all the people that, you know, Matt worked with that he could have called, I was the guy he brought in. And that was just extremely, extremely amazing about myself as a writer and the band and where we're going.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice, yeah. So getting towards the end of the podcast, do you have any brands, any gear? It could be, you know, from Fender to something obscure that people might not know about that you want to promote, that you would just want to, you know, tell people more about.
I know you're sponsored by Gibson, right?
Yeah, Gibson has always been a huge, huge supporter of us, and we've always worked closely with them. 2 of our music videos actually were shot at the Gibson showroom, Nothing Left to Give and Here Before. and they've loaned us guitars on tour, speakers on tour. So Gibson's always been a great company for us. We recently started working with Electro Voice, who, they're another amazing company with a great product. And we're also starting to work with a company, MEE Audio, which does headphones and in-ear monitoring. So we're excited to work with those brands. We love having those different connections and being able to support companies that have supported us, because that's really what it is. You're endorsing them, and we love all their products.
We would be nowhere without them, without all the sponsors and stuff like that. Or basically we'd be in debt. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. But I've always loved Gibson guitars, and people sometimes will be like, oh, but they're so expensive and you get the same thing cheaper. But when you're holding a Gibson, it's like you're holding like the greatest feeling on earth.
Dan, don't you have a Gibson?
Me? No. I have a Schecter.
Oh, Schecter.
I can't afford Gibson.
Yeah, it must be nice to be sponsored by them, John. But anyways, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. Let's do some quick plugs real quick.
Yeah.
Homecoming show, April 15th, Old Mogul Theater, Montclair, New Jersey, with Small Victories, The Weekenders, and Bad Case of Big Mouth, who were just on the show last week. Advanced $10 tickets. You can head to www.reverseorderonline.com/tickets. You're also April 19th at the Muse Expo Showcase in LA. Yep. Also, April 23rd, Launch Music Conference and Festival in Lancaster, PA. We also have May 20th, Wilbert's in Cleveland, Ohio. May 27th, the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. And then rounding out everything, May 29th, Cicero's in St. Louis.
Yes, sir. You nailed it.
Nice. For more information on Reverse Order, you could go to their website, reverseorderonline.com. Hit up their Facebook, give them another like. That's facebook.com/reverse order. Twitter is @reverse order. Instagram is reverse order official. And I think we covered everything. And now for the final song that you'd like us to play. Did you happen to choose one? I know you sent me two.
Yes. The final song is Call My Name, which is off our new EP, Nothing to Hide.
Great.
And this song is particularly special to me because it deals with a lot of things that I've had to deal with. It's a song about watching someone struggle with their own personal demons, their anxiety and their depression, and constantly trying to reach out to them and help them. And even though, they're still struggling with what they're struggling with, it's a song about telling someone that you'll always be there, Even if you haven't talked for 5 or 10 years, if that person calls you up, if that person calls your name, you'll be there right beside them, holding on to everything that keeps them sane. And it's just a really passionate song for me that I'm excited that it made the EP.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got a great message.
All right, so John, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Best of luck on your Old Mogul Theater gig.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll have no problem selling that out, which we will also promote over here on our websites and whatnot.
Yeah, and if you guys aren't doing anything, come on out.
Definitely. What's the date again?
April 15th.
I just said it like 90 fucking times.
I want him to promote it. Come on, man.
Oh, my God.
April 15th.
Beat it into their heads.
Montclair, New Jersey.
4:15, 4:15, 4:15. You got that, Dan?
Yes, thank
Dan,
you. Everybody
what's
else
the date?
4:15, Mogul Theater.
Old
Montclair,
Mogul
New Jersey.
Theater.
I don't care.
This is why I do the goddamn plugs. Dan, any plugs for you, or should I just tell it?
YouTube. John's favorite. You can check me out. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the same handle. Rock Drummer, RCKDRUMM3R. Check out my band if you like melodic death metal, if you like hard rock mixed with metal, Killswitch Engage.
That's not the name of the band. You're not in Killswitch.
I know that. Killswitch Engage, Breaking Benjamin, From Disturbed to In Flames. If you like all those bands mixed together, check it out. It's Dead Tide. You can check out the Guitar Player's YouTube, which is actually pretty popular. It's Chrome Selka 00.
Over 2 million plays.
Yep, 2 million views, and I think over 20-something subscribers, 20,000 or I think.
Well, good for him.
Well, yeah, good for him.
Keep going, Dan, any day.
All right, and then last but not least, we have a big show coming up on Sunday. We're opening for Soilwork and Fear Factory at 6:30 at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Actually, that made absolutely no sense since
this coming Sunday?
This is going to be out the day after.
Oh, yeah. So it already passed.
So how was that show, Dan?
Oh, it was great.
Oh, good to hear.
All right. Anyway,
Anyways, I'm currently in Vegas right now. Well, not really right now, but you listening at home right now, currently in Vegas. So awesome meeting all of you guys. The fight was great. Saw Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley. Don't ask me who won because I don't know. Also, Guns N' Roses were phenomenal. Saw them out there. And Mike Tyson was great. Met him afterwards. Awesome guy. If all of those happen, that'd be one hell of a trip. But anyways, yes. You could like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Behind the Barricade. Twitter is @Behind the Cade, CADE. Instagram.com/Behind the Barricade. And I think that's basically it.
Yeah.
Cool. John, thank you so much.
Thanks, John.
Again.